Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the 9th Annual Silver Summit Conference, and we're in the Davenport Hotel, and we're in Spokane, Washington. I have Bill Murphy, the chairman of GATA. Bill, welcome to SNN Live.
Thanks for having me on, Shelley.
Now tell us what GATA is, please.
GATA was an organization formed in January 1999 to expose the manipulation of the gold and silver markets. Initially thought it was just bullion banks like Morgan and Chase and Deutsche Bank and back then Goldman Sachs, but then we realized it was more extensive, and it was the Fed, the Treasury, the Bank of England, other central banks, and so on.
Now I do a little bit of homework about you. So, coming on, what do you think about the gold standard?
You know, it's a great question, but honestly, what we're GATA stands, we just want a free market. We believe there's massive manipulation going on in gold and silver, and we just want the free market forces to set the price. Honestly, I mean, it's even hard for us to talk about a gold standard because we don't even know how much gold the United States have. They say they have 8,134 tons. I'd be surprised if they had half of that, which is why they keep all their documents secret.
Well, I did take a tour of the gold reserve, and they let us see the bullion stacked up inside the cells.
Yeah, but what they don't say is how much of this gold may be encumbered. I mean, it could have been swapped out with Germany, some other country, and it could be actually, let's say, Germany's gold there or some other countries. And we don't know because there hasn't been a legitimate audit since 1955. And lately, I've been told even that audit was under question. Can you imagine any other major asset like this not giving an outside independent audit? Maybe forever?
So as chairman of GATA, and you're going to different conferences, aren't you sought out to speak? And when you are sought out to speak, what do you speak about?
Well, obviously, we do speak about the manipulation of the gold market, but I get a real kick out of this because we can't get the press to talk about it. But my colleague just got back from an Asian conference, and the speaker after him was George Clooney. So then last week he went to London for another sophisticated investment conference. The speaker the week before, former President Jimmy Carter, and the week after was George Soros. So we're making real progress, Shelley.
Well, it's a good thing we don't have Eddie Murphy coming on after you. I just want you to know that you have a reputation in the business because I have been referred to you, and I knew you were going to be here, and I wanted to get you on. What is your message to investors who come and watch these interviews that I do? Tell me what you want to get through to them.
Well, from our standpoint, the most important thing to know about gold and silver markets is to know what GATA knows. And basically, we've been right for the last 11 years in a row. There's been a massive price suppression scheme that's unfolding. The bad guys, the gold cartels we call them, don't have the ammunition to keep the price from going higher and higher and higher and higher. All they can do is manage the retreat. So when you get setbacks like we just have, which were orchestrated, we understand the drill. We know it's going to go right back up again. And next year when we're here, if I'm wrong, then you have to call me out. If I'm wrong, I'm not going to be.
Well, I'll have you on anyway. But what I want to know is, so what's your perspective? Do we buy gold? Do we buy and take delivery of it? Do we buy gold and silver stocks? You know, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm prejudiced because I have most of my money in gold, silver, and the gold and silver share stocks. So I believe that's the way to go, and I think it's always prudent to be diverse. It's funny, diversification for me is those categories where other people would say, put 10% into it. But I think with what's coming in the markets, there's such fiscal turmoil in the United States and Europe. It's a mess. Everything's getting worse. I don't think there's a solution. They're going to have to print money like crazy. They'll use every excuse, more stimulus. Gold and silver are headed for the moon. So that's my opinion.
Well, we print a lot in the States. Obviously, I thought print was dead, except for money, right?
Well, that is the irony, isn't it?
So, where do you go from here?
I'm going to the New Orleans Investment Conference next week.
We'll see you there.
Good. And if you want to do a follow-up, let me know. And then we take a little break, and then we've got Cambridge House conferences in January and February. And I'm hoping to go to South Africa and do a repeat tour that I did in 1999.
So what's your website?
It's lametropolecafe.com, and people can sign up for a 2-week free trial and see if it's of interest.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an easy guy to get an interview with, so thank you for coming on to SNN Live. He's the chairman of GATA. You want to give the GATA website, please?
Yes, it's www.gata.org, and can go there and sign up and get on the email list. Chris Powell, my colleague, does a fabulous job, and it'd be well worth you receiving those emails.
Thanks again for coming on to SNN Live.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.